This revealed a lot about the New Jersey Devils as they continue their playoff series with the Carolina Hurricanes. We'll break it all down on the injury front and which guys need to step up in some absences. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ryan the Gosiker here with you on Devils Digest, having some fun talking Devils hockey. But first, I want to give you a chance to be one of the first subscribers to the channel. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll get right into the show. Now, the Devils have been riddled by the injury bug. It's not one of those 24-hour viruses that comes and goes. It is one that has stuck around for this team. And so we're looking to head coach Sheldon Keefe for some answers. Sheldon, what do we have here? Oh, nothing. Okay, nothing. No updates, because again, this is the whole mind game of, well, if we tell him it's a shoulder thing and he actually plays, and then then they're going to target the shoulder. This is so stupid how hockey does this. And by the way, where are the hockey reporters getting the inside information? If this was Schefter, we would have known exactly what ligament was bothering Luke Hughes' shoulder. We would know the exact issue with Brenden Dillon. We would know exactly why he wanted to come back in game one, and the medical staff told him no. But for some reason, because we leave it up to the head coach in hockey, we have no idea what injuries are riddling these guys. We kind of understand Luke with the shoulder. We saw it. But the Brenden Dillon thing, what's going on? Can we get an update, Sheldon? Do you have a pulse right now? I saw a clip of him yesterday. I got to tell you, he looked as defeated gets. Okay, you're down 2-0 in a series. The Devils were down 2-0 2 years ago to the New York Rangers. They got outscored 11-2 at home. Okay, they came back. They won the series in 7 games. They won 4 of the next 5. I'm not saying they're going to do that in this series because I don't believe that they're going to. But I'm not going to sit here as the head coach of the New Jersey Devils and sound defeated. Now, Sheldon Keefe has got to find something, because the problem with this team right now, and my colleague Aiden Barrett touched upon it in the postgame brilliantly, as he always does. Talking about the special teams, this Devils team was one of the only teams in the league that was ranked top 10 in both penalty kill and power play. Okay, this team has to be better. Timo Meier can't pinch in the situation of shorthanded goal. I'm not going to get into this is not a postgame here. However, the Devils' injuries are continuing to stack up. As I mentioned, there's no update on Brenden Dillon and Luke Hughes, and that's a problem. Okay, that means Nemec has got to step up. Now, he didn't play terribly the other night. He played pretty well, okay? But they're going to need consistent efforts out of him, okay? They will require great efforts from Nemec. If he wants to prove, I'm a second overall pick, I shouldn't have been in the AHL this long, right here, right now is the time to do that. Go get it done and find a way to do it. Now, Sheldon Keefe did call game 2 a big step, but being realistic, we still need to take another step, particularly on offense. That's correct. Really, you need to work on with Timo Meier and figuring out how not to whiff on a ton of one-timers, because those are shots Timo buries 9 times out of 10, and unfortunately, the other day was the 1 out of 10 in which he doesn't. So the effort that has to be there for the Devils to be competitive in this series has got to raise to another level. And that includes game 3 on Friday night. They have to be electric. First of all, the fans got to be electric. Second of all, the team has to play with the energy that is required to have a fan base out of their seats. Okay? They have to. This is just, I didn't make the rules. I'm just enforcing them. The Devils have to come out Friday night with an intensity that fans need to be able to sit there and be like, damn, we haven't seen this since before Christmas. Okay? That's the level of competitiveness the Devils need to come out with and fire that they need to play with. Hit everything in sight. Wearing a Carolina jersey, whether they're wearing a striped jersey, okay? And I'm joking on that side of things. But in terms of Carolina, hit everything that moves, okay? You're down Brenden Dillon. You're down Luke Hughes. You really don't have much of a shot, right? If you're thinking about it and you're hearing all the pundits and everything like that, you don't have much of a shot, okay? And we talked about this, David versus Goliath. Goliath wins 99 times out of 100, okay? Can the Devils get game 3, get back in the series? That's going to be the big question mark. I know my colleague Aiden Barrett's going to do a whole video on that, but I just found the Sheldon Keefe quote so interesting, and again, taking another step, particularly offensively, how about being able to hit the broad side of the barn when you're standing next to it? How about that? That might help. It might help the offense. In my opinion, it would help the offense. They put so many pucks that you're like, wow, this is a golden opportunity, and they shoot them as literal. I mean, they couldn't hit the ocean if they were standing in a boat, okay? This is the problem with New Jersey right now, is they're not doing anything offensively, and according to Sheldon Keefe, they need to step up on the third line. How many times have I come on the videos, and I'm sure Aiden has as well, talking about how they need this bottom six to step up, and they're just sleepwalking, I guess is the best way to describe it. But man, the Devils are going to need all hands on deck, particularly with no updates on Brenden, Dillon, and Luke Hughes. So you're assuming right now that they're not playing unless we hear something more from Sheldon Keefe. Practice today, maybe Luke or Brenden are back on the ice. Who knows? But I do want to highlight this because I mentioned this before the series. I talked about that the Devils, one of the number one X factor for New Jersey was Jacob Markstrom. If the Devils were to have any chance in this series, Jacob Markstrom needed to be the guy that they traded a first-round pick for. Now, I found this stunning, this statistic, that Jacob Markstrom basically, based on these advanced metrics, is the second best goalie in the playoffs right now. And again, small sample size, right? It's not perfect, but he certainly is keeping the Devils in these games, giving them a shot. So if this offense ever figures it out, or if this third line could ever wake up and do something, the fourth line maybe, how about we just pucks on net? You hear me screaming it from Section 132 often. I won't be there for the playoffs, couldn't afford it. But pucks on net. That's the value for the Devils right now. Muck it up, get pucks on net, and figure it out from there. Okay? Because your goalie's playing as good as anybody in the league right now. Okay? The Devils need to find a way to play their tails off. Energy from start to finish. They've done it in a lot of games this year. All first period, great first period. They come out, they're fired up and everything. And then they fall off a cliff in the second period. Or they play a great first two periods. And then the third period, they look like an AHL team. Devils need to put together a 60-minute effort on Friday night in order to do this, and they may be doing it without Brenden, Dillon, and without Luke Hughes. We'll keep you updated if we get any more news, but I want to thank you for listening here on Devil's Digest. I'm your host, Ryan the Goose Gosiker. Leave us a comment. What do you think? What do the Devils need to turn it around here in Game 3? And what do they do with no Dillon and no Luke? What is the solution? I don't know. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Be one of our first subscribers here on Devil's Digest. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We appreciate any and all of you who are listening, watching, both. Doesn't matter. We love you. We appreciate you. And thank you. And we'll catch you next time on Devil's Digest.